What if I told you that something massive is hiding under the Great Pyramids of Egypt? Something bigger than anyone ever imagined. Scientists recently found underground tunnels, secret chambers, and strange shapes buried deep below the surface. Some people believe it could be a lost city, hidden there for thousands of years. Others think it might be part of an ancient system connected to powerful secrets. And the most surprising part? These mysterious structures were found using satellites flying hundreds of miles above Earth. From space, researchers looked deep into the ground, and what they saw shocked them. But to understand how they found all this, we need to go back to where it started. One of Egypt's most famous pyramids, Khafre's pyramid. It all started when a team of scientists from Italy and Scotland studied the pyramid of Khafre, the second largest pyramid on the Giza Plateau. They weren't digging or using shovels. Instead, they used powerful satellites and radar from space, more than 400 miles above the ground. These satellites sent special signals deep into the Earth, almost like X-rays. Then, computers turned those signals into a 3D picture of what's underground. What they found was shocking. They saw something that looked like giant vertical shafts, like deep, straight holes, going almost 2,000 feet underground. That's way deeper than most subway stations in the world. And they weren't small either. These shafts stretched more than 6,500 feet across. Imagine laying down 2.5 Burj Khalifa towers, the tallest buildings in the world. That's how wide it was. But it gets even weirder. These shafts had spiral paths going around them, like staircases twisting down into the earth. At the end of these paths, the radar showed two strange shapes. They looked like giant cubes, or maybe bowls. Each one was bigger than a football field, but no one knows what they were used for. Some experts think they could be ancient wells. Others believe they had a much deeper purpose, and this was just the beginning. What the scientists found next made them think that something much bigger was hiding under the sand. After studying the Pyramid of Khafre, the scientists began to notice something strange. The underground shafts and chambers didn't seem random. They looked like they were part of a much larger system. Some experts now believe there might be hidden tunnels and rooms under all three pyramids at Giza, not just one. This led to a big question. Could there be a secret underground city hiding beneath the pyramids? That idea might sound crazy, but some ancient stories talk about a mysterious place called the Halls of Amenti. In Egyptian myths, this was a secret space where souls went after death. People would face their deepest fears there before moving on to the next life. It was said to be located underground, right beneath the pyramids. And now, with this discovery, some scientists think those stories might not be myths after all. Even deeper underground, over 4,000 feet below the surface, there may be more chambers and passageways that no one has ever seen. Some researchers believe this area could be much more than just a few tombs. It might be an entire city buried under the sand, waiting to be discovered. But how could something so huge stay hidden for so long? That answer came with the next big discovery, and it made the mystery even deeper. So, how did scientists even find these deep tunnels and strange underground rooms? They didn't use shovels or drills. Instead, they used something much more advanced: space technology and a special type of radar. Two satellites, floating 420 miles above the Earth, were used to scan the Giza Plateau. These satellites sent radar waves down into the ground. When the waves bounced back, they created a 3D image of what's under the sand. This allowed scientists to see through stone and dirt, without touching a single rock. The results were shocking. Right inside the Pyramid of Khafre, the scans revealed 5 small, hidden rooms that no one had ever seen before. One of those rooms even had a stone box that looked like a sarcophagus, the kind used to hold a pharaoh's body. At first, scientists thought it was Khafre's actual tomb. But then, after studying more, they realized it couldn't be. The room was too small, and the location didn't match what they knew about royal burials. That means Khafre's real tomb might still be out there, completely hidden. Even stranger, these 5 hidden rooms are connected by long underground paths. Where do they lead? No one knows for sure. But some experts think they could lead to other secret chambers or even deep wells that haven't been explored yet. Here's where it gets even more mysterious. Some of the underground paths are filled with spiral-shaped tunnels. just like the ones in the earlier discovery, and the radar picked up hollow spaces far beneath them, places that could be more chambers, more tunnels, or something else entirely. Early studies suggest these hidden parts of the pyramid could be over 4,500 years old. That's older than most cities in the world today, and if they were used for something more than just burial, it could change everything we thought we knew about the pyramids. So now the big question is, what were these deep chambers really used for? And just when people started to believe they had seen it all, scientists made another strange discovery. Not under the pyramids, but in the ancient royal cemetery nearby. Even though the discovery of underground chambers and tunnels is exciting, not everyone agrees with it. Some scientists are very skeptical. That means they don't fully believe what was found. Many experts have questions about the radar technology used to find these secret rooms. They say the images might not be accurate. According to them, the radar could have picked up things like natural cracks or empty spaces in the rock, not real tunnels or chambers. One group of archaeologists even said the underground shapes might just be natural formations, things that formed in the earth over thousands of years without human help. Some even say that radar scanning underground is still too new and unproven for these kinds of studies. Others believe the area where the pyramids stand was already special to ancient people, long before the pyramids were even built. So the things found underground could have belonged to an earlier time, not the pyramid builders. All these doubts have led to arguments between scientists. On one side, some believe this could be one of the biggest discoveries in history. On the other side, others say we need more proof. But while people were still debating, another team of researchers found something completely different, just a short distance away from the pyramids. What they found buried beneath the royal cemetery shocked everyone and made even the skeptics take a second look. Not far from the Great Pyramid, scientists were exploring a royal cemetery. This place is known as the resting ground for kings, queens, and other important people in ancient Egypt. Most of the tombs there are easy to see. They're above the ground and shaped like big stone rectangles called mastabas. But there was one spot in the cemetery that had nothing on it. No tombs, no signs, just an empty patch of ground. For years, people ignored it. But between 2021 and 2023, a group of researchers decided to check it out. And what they found was incredible. They used special tools called ground-penetrating radar, GPR, and electrical resistive tomography, ERT. These tools send waves into the earth and can show what's buried below, kind of like X-rays for the ground. The radar picked up something strange, a hidden L-shaped structure, just 6.5 feet below the surface. It was at least 33 feet long, and it didn't look natural. The lines were too straight, the shape too perfect. Scientists think it was made by people, not by nature. Below that L shape, they found something even more mysterious, a second, deeper structure. This one didn't match anything else found in the area. It was dense, strong, and most likely made of stone or a mix of sand and gravel. The radar called it a highly resistive anomaly, which means it was very solid and probably not natural. The top structure looked like it had been filled with sand on purpose. This made experts think it might have been sealed, maybe to protect something or hide it. But what? That's still a mystery. Some believe it could be an ancient offering chapel. Others say it might be a secret burial chamber, possibly untouched for thousands of years. And some think it's something we've never seen before, something that could change what we know about ancient Egypt. Excavations are now happening at the site. Scientists are digging carefully, trying to uncover the truth. But because the area is old and fragile, they have to move slowly to avoid damage. Still, one question hangs in the air. Why was this structure buried so well? And what else might be hiding just below the surface? The mystery wasn't over yet. In fact, it was about to get even deeper, with a discovery that could change how we see pyramid burials forever. For a long time, people believed that pyramids were only built for powerful kings, called pharaohs, and other rich or royal people. These rulers had money, land, and thousands of workers to build giant tombs just for them. But a recent discovery might change that idea completely. In a place called Tombos, located in what is now Sudan, archaeologists found a small pyramid burial site. This place was built around 400 BCE, after Egypt took control of the area. When experts studied the site, they made a surprising discovery. They looked at the skeletons of 110 people buried there. Some of the bones looked smooth and normal. These likely belonged to people from higher social classes, but other bones had rough spots and thick ridges. This meant the people had done a lot of hard physical work during their lives. These were not pharaohs or nobles. These were workers, builders, farmers, and everyday people. This led scientists to a shocking new theory. Maybe common workers were also buried in pyramids, not just the rich and powerful. It means some of the people who helped build these giant stone tombs might have also been laid to rest inside them. This discovery turns old beliefs upside down. For years, experts thought pyramid burials were only for Egypt's most important people. But now, it seems even low-status workers could find their final resting place under those grand stone structures. If this is true, it means the pyramids were not just royal monuments. They were part of the lives of many people, rich and poor alike. And that makes the history of these ancient buildings even more human and even more mysterious. But the mysteries don't stop there, because next, we're going to look at a wild theory from a man who believed the pyramids weren't tombs at all, but something far more powerful. Most people think the pyramids were just giant tombs for pharaohs. But what if they were something more, something much, much more powerful? One of the most brilliant inventors in history, Nikola Tesla, had a very different idea. In the early 1900s, Tesla became obsessed with the Great Pyramid of Giza. He believed it wasn't just a tomb. He thought it was a kind of giant energy machine. That sounds crazy, right? But Tesla had reasons. He believed the pyramid's shape wasn't just for looks. He thought the angles and design could help collect and send energy through the air. Tesla had already created machines that could send electricity without wires, so the idea didn't seem impossible to him. He even believed that the materials used to build the pyramid, like limestone and granite, were chosen on purpose because they could store or move energy. According to him, the pyramid might have once been a power plant, giving energy to nearby cities thousands of years ago. And guess what? Recent studies might back him up. A team of scientists used computers to study how the Great Pyramid reacts to certain types of radio waves. They found that the pyramid could focus energy in its rooms and even under its base. This energy isn't electricity like we use today, but it could still be very powerful. So maybe Tesla wasn't wrong after all. Maybe the ancient Egyptians knew something about energy that we've forgotten. And if the pyramids were really built to move or store energy, it raises even more questions. Why did they need that much power? What were they powering? And could this be connected to the secret chambers found under the pyramids today? Whatever the answer is, it shows us one thing. These ancient monuments were far more advanced than we ever imagined. But while we explore these powerful ideas, there's one sad truth. Many ancient secrets were lost long ago, and a big part of the reason is simple: theft. Let's talk about the people who looted the pyramids and what might still be left behind. For thousands of years, people have been breaking into pyramids, not to study history, but to steal treasure. Back in ancient times, pharaohs were buried with gold, jewelry, and valuable items. These were meant to help them in the afterlife, but to tomb robbers, they were just riches waiting to be taken. And the robbers came quickly. In fact, many of Egypt's most famous tombs were looted just a few years after they were sealed. Even King Tutankhamun's tomb, one of the most well-known in the world, was broken into twice in ancient times, long before modern archaeologists found it. These thieves were not just random criminals. Many were skilled workers, even the same people who helped build the tombs. They knew where the hidden rooms were. Some were paid off. Others threatened the workers for secret information. They used tricks, digging tunnels, breaking through walls, and even bribing guards. Over time, most of the gold and valuable items disappeared. Only empty rooms and broken sarcophagi were left behind. The Great Pyramid of Khufu is a perfect example. When modern explorers first entered it, they found just one thing: an empty stone box. No body, no treasure, just a hollow space that once held a king. But here's the worst part. When treasures are stolen, history is lost too. Ancient Egyptians wrote down everything they buried. These lists were detailed records. But when items go missing, we lose the chance to study them, and the chance to understand the people who lived so long ago. Today, many of these stolen artifacts are in private collections around the world. Some are in museums that refuse to return them. Egypt has passed strict laws to protect what's left, but for many lost treasures, it's already too late. Still, there is hope. Some chambers may have never been opened, If these newly discovered rooms under the pyramids are real and untouched, then maybe, just maybe, some of Egypt's lost secrets are still waiting to be found. There's one ancient structure that might hold the biggest secret of all, the Sphinx. Let's go deeper. The Great Sphinx of Giza is one of the most famous statues in the world. It has the body of a lion and the head of a man, probably a pharaoh. It sits close to the pyramids, silently watching over the desert. But what if it's not just a statue? Curious. For years, people have believed that something important is hidden underneath the Sphinx. Some even say there's a secret library buried below it, a place called the Hall of Records. The Hall of Records is a legendary place mentioned in old stories. It's said to hold ancient scrolls, lost knowledge, and powerful secrets from the time before history was written down. Some believe it could even include the true story of how the pyramids were built, and by who. That might sound like a fantasy, but here's where things get interesting. In 1998, scientists used ground scanning tools to check what's beneath the Sphinx. And guess what? They found strange tunnels and empty spaces under the statue. One tunnel even leads to a chamber directly below the front paws of the Sphinx. But these rooms have never been fully explored. Why? Because digging under the Sphinx is not allowed. The Egyptian government is very careful with this monument. They worry that any digging could damage the structure forever. And some people believe they're hiding something, that they know what's under the Sphinx, but don't want the world to see it. Even today, archaeologists still argue about these tunnels. Are they just natural cracks in the rock? Or are they entrances to a hidden chamber filled with lost knowledge? There are even old maps on the internet that show entire underground complexes, hallways, rooms, and deep staircases, 12 levels below the Sphinx. Are they real? No one knows for sure. What we do know is that the mystery remains unsolved. And if the Hall of Records is real, it could completely change what we know about ancient Egypt, and maybe even about human history itself. But while everyone waits for answers from the Sphinx, scientists made another major discovery, using a technology that looks deep inside stone. What they found inside the Great Pyramid shocked everyone. Just when everyone thought the Great Pyramid had given up all its secrets, scientists discovered something new and completely unexpected. They used a special kind of technology called muon scanning. Muons are tiny particles that come from space. They can pass through solid objects like stone and leave behind a trail, kind of like footprints in sand. By placing muon detectors inside the pyramid, scientists could see inside the structure without breaking a single stone. And what they found stunned them. Right above the main chamber in the Great Pyramid, the scans showed a massive empty space. It was so big that it was named the Big Void. No one had ever seen it before, and no one knows what's inside it. It could be a hidden room, a storage space, or something even more mysterious. This void is about 100 feet long, big enough to fit a passenger airplane inside. That's not just a small crack or mistake in the scan. This is a huge, hidden chamber that has been sealed for over 4,500 years. But why is it there? Some scientists believe it was built to relieve pressure from the stones above so the pyramid wouldn't collapse. Others think it may have been a hidden path or secret room used during the construction. And some people believe it could be the location of an undiscovered royal tomb. To get a closer look, a team placed a tiny camera inside the pyramid through a small hole. What they saw was a corridor with a chevron-shaped ceiling, just like the other parts of the pyramid. But the corridor seemed to lead somewhere deeper, into the unknown. And that's where the mystery gets even bigger. So far, no one has been allowed to explore the Big Void further. It's too risky, and no one knows what might happen if the walls are disturbed. So the chamber remains sealed, holding its secrets, just like it has for thousands of years. And if that secret space leads somewhere even deeper, what else could be hiding inside the oldest, largest pyramid on Earth? But even with all this technology and discovery, some of the most mysterious ideas about the pyramids don't come from science. They come from the minds of the people who built them. And that brings us to something even wilder, the idea that the pyramids were part of something cosmic. Even after thousands of years, the pyramids of Egypt are still hiding secrets. Every time scientists discover something new, a hidden tunnel, a secret chamber, or an ancient object, it leads to even more questions. Are there really underground cities beneath the sand? Was the Great Pyramid built to hold a body, or to hold power? Did the ancient Egyptians know something about energy, space, or life after death that we've forgotten? Some people believe the pyramids are giant power plants. Others think they are gateways to the afterlife. and some even believe they are messages left behind by a forgotten civilization. The truth? We still don't know for sure. And maybe that's the most powerful part of all. The pyramids were built by people who didn't have modern tools, machines, or computers. Yet somehow, they created structures so perfect, so huge, and so full of mystery that we're still studying them 4,500 years later. And what about the rooms we haven't opened yet? What if there's one last sealed chamber deep beneath the sand, untouched by looters, unknown to history? What if the real story of ancient Egypt is still waiting to be discovered? One thing's for sure, the deeper we look, the stranger it gets. And if we've learned anything from these ancient wonders, it's this. Sometimes the greatest secrets aren't the ones we've already found, but the ones still buried below.